Alrighty, peace. Welcome to the Started by the Basketball Show. Wherever, however you're listening, we're so grateful to have you with us. As you guys know, I'm your host, Sean Cottle, and we've got an interesting topic today, guys. We are going to be discussing whether or not Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese is a legitimate MVP candidate this season in the WNBA. And we're not going to waste any time with it, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive right into it. But before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all of our latest content. And be sure to follow us on Patreon as well, so you can stay up to date on all of our exclusive content that we post daily as well. You can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in "Sorry to Bother You Show." And if you'd like to support our network and our company, you can do so by following the link in the ticker below. It's streamelements.com/sorry-to-bother-you-show/tip. None of this is possible without you guys, the fans, so we're just so grateful and honored for all of the love and support that you show us, and it's a pleasure doing this show. So let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. Like I said, is Chicago Sky rookie number 7 overall pick Angel Reese a legitimate MVP candidate this season? As you guys know, Angel Reese just set the WNBA mark for consecutive games with a double-double at 12. And her streak went up to 13 games, but the streak just ended last night with Chicago Sky's victory. Or sorry, their Chicago Sky's loss to the Seattle Storm last night. However, like I said, Angel Reese now holds the WNBA record for consecutive games with a double-double that was previously held by Candace Parker, and Candace Parker set that record during the 2009-10 season. Angel Reese is having an amazing rookie year so far. She was just named Rookie of the Month. She's currently averaging a double-double, and she was just selected an All-Star in her first year in her rookie season. So far, her and Caitlinclark are the only rookies to be selected to the WNBA All-Star team. And it goes without saying that Angel Reese is having a phenomenal year, not just for a rookie, but just overall in general across the board compared to her WNBA counterparts. And I'll be the first to say that Angel Reese's productivity is coming at a bit of a surprise for me. I was someone that said that she needed to develop her offensive game. She needed to expand her scoring options. She needed to be able to put the ball on the floor a bit. She needed to at least hit catch and shoot shots from the elbow extended 16, 17 feet, something that she didn't do consistently in college. But her physicality and her footwork and her ability to time the ball on rebounds, both offensive and defensive rebounds, is proving to be the deciding factor. It's proving to be what's setting her apart, and it's proving to be what's allowing her to be effective and productive at the WNBA level. And another cause for concern I had initially with Angel Reese was the physicality of the game, and would she be able to transfer her physical prowess in college over to the WNBA. And that's something that she's been able to do. You can tell that she's been much more intentional about her workouts in terms of being able to move more lateral and also cover more ground with her hip mobility and with her gait opening. So a lot of us basketball players during our off season, we spend a lot of time being able to expand our range of motion and being able to become more flexible, for lack of better words, within our hips. We know that allows us to cover more ground on the defensive end, but also allows us to be more explosive and allows us to also generate more power and be more balanced and stable within our trunk region. And for a player like Angel Reese, who relies a lot on her physicality and her ability to bump players, specifically in the low post, that's transferred a lot. That those type of workouts regimens has transferred tremendously to the court for Angel Reese. And I know that watching the film, a lot of Angel Reese's points are coming inside the paint and are coming off the glass, but she's still showing her physicality. And something that we talk about in the WNBA is with Zion Williamson, another player that gets a lot of his points in the paint, but no one, says anything about Zion Williams' ability to not stretch the floor or to not shoot consistently from the outside. So the same can be said for Angel Reese. Though she is scoring most over 85% of her points inside the paint, she's still scoring and still being productive, despite the fact. And I don't, because and the question now becomes, okay, well, is she a Rookie of the Year? Is she the Rookie of the Year candidate? I believe that she is a Rookie of the Year candidate. I believe she will win the Rookie of the Year if she continues to maintain this pace and this productivity. The question then becomes, is she a legitimate MVP candidate? Now, me personally, just right off at this point in time, I believe Nafisa Collier and Asia Wilson are my top two candidates for MVP. But what would it take for Angel Reese to get into a legitimate conversation for possibly winning MVP? There's a couple of things that would need to factor in, primarily being the Chicago Sky's record and their ability to win games over the course of the season. Right now, they're currently 8-13. If I'm wrong about that, one of you guys can correct me. But I know they are currently 8th in the West in the standings right now, so they're still in the playoffs. They are a game behind Indiana. What will it take for Angel Reese to become a legitimate MVP candidate? Like I said, Chicago Sky's record will have to improve. They'll need to finish at least with a top 4 record, minimum top 5 record. But is that possible? Does Chicago have a legitimate chance of finishing with a top 4 record in the WNBA this season? I believe they do. They have a lot of talent on that roster in Chicago. The guards with Kennedy Carter, who is having a phenomenal season, by the way. Dana Evans, I believe is the other guard's name, who was starting initially but now is coming off the bench. Camila Cardozo, obviously out of South Carolina. Marina Mabrey, who is one of the best shooters in the WNBA. And by the way, is another player who has completely transformed her game. She's now completely added the ability to put the ball on the floor and to be a playmaker as opposed to just a catch and shoot option, which I believe is also diversified and added another layer to the Chicago Sky's offense. And there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on this Chicago Sky roster. They're still young, and I believe they're obviously still learning how to play with each other. But you can see the upside. You can see the potential in the Chicago Sky based on how they played so far this season. Where they struggle with, which is actually ironic, is on the defensive end. They have a lot of mental lapses defensively, whether it be via switches or backdoor cuts, and that's typical of youth and young teams. So defensively for Chicago, if they can learn to be more efficient, maybe be more proficient on the defensive end, that's going to allow them to win more games and allow them to jump in the standings, which is going to allow Angel Reese to possibly become a legitimate MVP candidate, like I was saying. Is it out the realm of possibility for Angel Reese to win an MVP or to be an MVP candidate this season? I don't think so. There is a little bit of a possibility. Do I believe she will win MVP? Absolutely not. I don't believe so. At this point in time, like I said, I believe Nafisa Collier and Asia Wilson are my top 2 MVP candidates right now. But it's just a topic that I believe needed to be broached. But I believe what it speaks to is, like I said, the level of productivity and the level of efficiency that Angel Reese is playing with this season. And the question now becomes, is this the best rookie season by a WNBA player? And our co-host, Dre, just said that he's got Asia. Yeah, Dre, I agree with you. I got Asia Wilson too. Mainly due to the fact that she should have won it last year, in my opinion. But we know Breanna Stewart won the MVP last year. But also, Vegas is playing much better. since Chelsea Gray's been back in the lineup. And with Chelsea Gray being back in the lineup, really that helps Asia Wilson get more touches and opens up the floor for her as well. But the question then becomes, okay, well, is this the best season by a rookie in WNBA history? Then we have to go back into the archives. Dre, I was just about to say the same thing. I believe Candace Parker, in my mind, still holds that record that mark for me as the best rookie season. But another player that comes to mind is Maya Moore when she spent her first season in Minnesota. Lisa Leslie, but Crystal Langhorne also out of Maryland with her first season with the Mystics. But off the back, yeah, I would say Candace Parker, not perhaps, in my opinion, did have the best rookie season. We got to remember Candace Parker led her with Lisa Leslie, led that Sparks team to the Western Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong on that, one of you guys can correct me. But yeah, I agree with you, Dre. Rookie season GOAT is still Candace Parker, in my opinion. But Angel Reese is definitely having something to say about that this season. Something that's interesting to think about. Okay, so now what would it take for Angel Reese to have the best rookie season of all time? Like I said, team success plays a huge factor in it for me. If Chicago could somehow make it to the semifinals and the playoffs, that would definitely put a feather in her cap in terms of having possibly the best rookie season. But also the marketability is playing a huge factor in as well. Unfortunately, when Candace Parker was a rookie, the marketability for the WNBA was not the same as it is now. It's just a progression of times, and that's just how leagues and life works. Honestly, things tend to trend upward, and it's just how it is. However, I do believe Angel Reese is benefiting, just like the entire WNBA is, off of the dynamic or the almost like twin programming that is put into place between Angel Reese and Caitlin-Clark. I believe that's good that comparing those two players are quote unquote putting those two players against each other from a competitive standpoint is good for the league, because it creates a little bit of a polarization, and it creates an extra dynamic, an extra competitive dynamic that has not been in the WNBA for quite some time now. And it creates another storyline, because we got to remember, at the end of the day, sports is just entertainment, and the best forms of entertainment have intriguing storylines. They have compelling storylines, and they have storylines that can draw in the audience and captivate the audience. And that dynamic between Angel Reese and Caitlin-Clark is polarizing for many reasons. There's obviously a racial component. There's a size differential component. There's a skill set component. They're almost polar in every sense of the word in terms of being, opposite. And there's no mistake, and there's no question about it, that they're the two best rookies so far this season, and both of them have had tremendous impacts in a positive way on their respective teams. Both Indiana and Chicago are in playoff contention so far. Both are young teams, and is no question that both of these players, Caitlin-Clark and Angel Reese, are going to have phenomenal careers respectively moving forward. And as of right now, yes, I do believe Angel Reese is having a better season so far than Caitlin-Clark, mainly due to the level of consistency. And like I said, I have Angel Reese so far right now as my pick for Rookie of the Year. But the question will become, okay, what will it take for Angel Reese to have unequivocally the best rookie season in WNBA history? Like I said, getting to the semifinals for Chicago. But what will it take for Angel Reese to be a legitimate MVP candidate? I think Chicago needs to finish with at least a top 4, minimum top 5 record in the WNBA to close out the regular season. But let me know what you guys think in the chat room. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is Angel Reese a legitimate MVP candidate? Has she been the best rookie so far this year? Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear all about it. Also, by the way, another rookie that's having a great season that no one's talking about, Kate Martin of the Aces. She's having a phenomenal season, playing consistently, playing efficiently off the bench. You can tell that Aces team has really took her into that organization, to that family dynamic, and you can tell that they like having her around that organization. But also, Nafisa Collier, like I said, of the Minnesota Lynx, I know that she's missed the last 2 games with plantar fasciitis, but she is having a tremendous season. I believe that she is, if I had to pick right now, I believe Nafisa Collier would be my MVP right now, because I did not expect Minnesota to be this good. They just won the Commissioner's Cup, and I do believe that Nafisa is my current MVP. She's currently number 1 for me on the MVP leaderboard. But obviously her health is going to play a factor in that moving forward. She might miss the next couple of games as she prepares to get ready for the Olympics coming up. And our host Dre Pennington says MVP. I don't know, but Rookie of the Year, I think she has a chance. I'm biased. I'm part of the Reese's Pieces fan club. Yes, as you guys know, our host Dre Pennington is an ardent supporter of Angel Reese, and I, like Dre said, I agree. Not particularly sure, or not an MVP candidate at this point, but Rookie of the Year, I do believe so. Dre, the Reese's Pieces fan club, I'm definitely going to be bringing that up on our live show on Instagram Live, so be prepared to talk about that for sure. But guys, that is it for our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a wonderful show. Like I said, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all of our latest content. Be sure to follow us on Patreon as well. You can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in Sorry to Bother You Show. That way you can get access to all of our exclusive content that we post daily. And if you would like to support our network and our company, you can do so by following the link in the ticker below. It's streamelements.com/sorrytobotheryoushow/tip. None of this is possible without you guys as fans, and Dre and I are just so grateful and honored for all the love and support that you show us, and it's a pleasure to be here. But with that being said, guys, we'll be back again same time tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, continue to stay safe, be vigilant, make smart decisions, and